Ludmila Monastyrska, Ukrainian lyric dramatic soprano, one of the most powerful soloists of the opera world. In the year of 2000, graduated from the National Music Academy of Ukraine. From 1998 to the present with a break, Premier of the National Opera of Ukraine. Today critics call the singer a star of vocal world, queen of nuance and queen of pianissimo. In 2015, the singer was nominated for the International Opera Awards. Ludmila Monastyrska has sung at the Metropolitan Opera, the Royal Covent Garden, La Scala, the Vienna State Opera, and others. Her voice has sounded in a duet with Placido Domingo, Dmitry Khvorostovsky, Roberto Elenier, Jonas Kaufmann, and Andrea Bocelli. She has worked with such outstanding conductors as Zubin Mehta, Daniel Barenboim, Christian Telemann, Riccardo Muti, and Oksana Linev. And these are just a few names. Welcome to 10+1 questions from Opera World with Ludmila Monastyrska and Andrei Kulikov.
Ludmila Monastyrska. Of course, I know your voice from your singing, but when I heard it on your advisor's phone, I recognized it immediately. And I myself was surprised, because people usually sing in one voice and talk in another. But you're so natural that I suppose you can be recognized from both. It also takes years and years of experience to be so natural. And I presume that your acquaintance with opera has started a long time ago. Do you remember the first time you went to the opera house? And do you remember what you have listened to? What has remained in your memory?
Actually, it was around 25 years ago when I was a student in the musical academy. So I came to the theater here, National Opera of Ukraine, and heard some soprano, baritono, and tenore. I think it was Nabucco by Verdi. And then I've been here many times and heard this voice again and again. And actually, I think I was, loved in opera, especially Verdi.
I'm sure that many people fall in love with opera after they have listened to you. What are your favorite opera or ballet, or maybe opera and ballet?
Actually, I very like Aida by Verdi. It's my favorite is Norma by Bellini, but I did many productions everywhere. Aida by Verdi, and I think I have a big experience to sing, especially Verdi roles.
Who are your favorite singers and dancers?
I very like, I can say I adore Maria Callas for special emotions when she sings, when I heard this recordings. And of course, our Ukrainian soprano Solomia Krushelnitskaya. As we know, Solomia was the the best Chio-san in the world, 100 years ago and more, 100 and more. So
I know that you sang at the Jubilee performance dedicated to Solomia Krushelnitska in Bologna,
yes,
in Italy.
yes, it was 2 months ago. It was a very big. I was surprised. Actually, it was first time for me to sing a very special aria from Cassandra. I don't know this opera. Salomia did this opera 100 ago, especially there in Bologna. I was invited by Oksana Liniv, and we did together this concert.
So two Ukrainian musical figures, two Ukrainian cultural figures met in Italy. How was it? Was it a special feeling, or was it just a run-of-the-mill event?
It was special because after this concert, I did a Ukrainian song. This was a special, very special for me, very special feeling, because I did. Ою полі вітер віє. And this feeling, when I sing without orchestra, a cappella, it was very special on the stage. When I usually somebody, Aida or Amelia or Tosca or Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, and when I was stayed on this stage in Bologna Theatre, Opera Theatre, it was very special emotions. And in the audience was many Ukrainian people, Ukrainians who moved a year or 2 years ago to the Italy.
So Ludmila Monastyrska sings Aida, she sings Amelia, she sings Tosca, but when she performs Ukrainian folk songs like the one that we heard just a moment ago, she sings Ludmila. In your mind, how can you characterize Ludmila Monastyrska if you are Ludmila Monastyrska? What are the traits that you cherish in yourself most of all?
Who is Ludmila Monastyrska?
Yes, who is Ludmila
Or
Monastyrska?
who is Ludmila Monastyrska, like a person or like a singer?
Both.
Both. Sometimes it's I have this question almost all day for myself because sometimes it's different things because it's a transformation on the stage when I do somebody like Lady Macbeth, it's not me. It's not me because I am not a killer. But my opinion for this profession, the opera singer should be with a strong character and should have many things, not only voice.
Let's go back to your favorites. We know now who your favorite performers are. We know your favorite opera, but in order to really perform an opera, probably you have to have also an adequate theater. What is your favorite opera house?
Actually, my favorite is my theater in Kiev, National Opera of Ukraine. But I also very like the Covent Garden, Royal Opera House. It's like second home for me. And Metropolitan, because I did many productions in these both theaters. And I know everybody there, and everybody know me. And every time when I come to the England or USA, I feel very comfortable there, like in home. But of course, when I am back here, I feel very special emotions, because this is a place of power place for me. Very important for me to walk in here on this center of Kiev. This especially this place I live. I have my apartment very close with the theater, and it's very important for me to be sometimes here, sometimes, yes, and to sing something here.
Which opera or ballet would you recommend to children and adults who have never before been to opera, so that they may at once become involved in this beautiful opera world?
Yes, I recommend Aida by Verdi. Because in Aida we can hear the chorus and soloist and dancers. I'm sure when I in audience, when I look to the stage, for example, when I did the Zeffirelli production, Aida in Scala, it's and in Arena di Verona also. It was like movie, like Hollywood movie. It's very interesting for the audience, I'm sure.
Any unusual, unexpected cases that happened to you in your life or opera career connected to the opera world?
Actually, I don't remember any curious moments. Maybe when on the stage, the natural animals, I mean horses or elephants, in Aida especially. Yeah, it's very special moments, and sometimes.
So they are real?
Yes.
I always thought they were mechanical.
It was in the Metropolitan Opera, because it's the very big stage there. And in the Zeffirelli production, it's very real, and sometimes animal not not very.
You cannot actually know what
Yes,
they will do.
we are very scared on the stage, my colleagues and every people, because it's a special thing. Maybe this one, but I don't remember nothing else.
Living in the opera world must be a very unusual experience. I sometimes cannot even imagine what this means, not only to watch, not only to listen, but actually to create the opera world as you are doing. So what does the opera world mean to you?
It's my life, actually. And it's very important for public, for the audience. Because when some people go to the theater and wait, some emotions, some natural emotions, some transformation, like we are on the stage. And when we are natural on the stage, we can give something our audience, our public, our people in audience. It's very important to go to the theater, come to the theater. So, and my opinion, this is like magic place. Theater, this is magic place.
So you are a magician.
I don't know.
Well, certainly you have a magic voice.
When I see some crying, somebody cry, or after the performance, some people come to me and say, "Mila, you was amazing, you was incredible, your aria was very touching me." It's very happy moment for me. And it's a. I can say that I'm totally happy in this moment.
And this leads me rather naturally to my next question. Maybe you remember a case when opera or the opera world in general helped to solve a contradictory situation, to reconcile people, maybe smooth over a conflict, or maybe even save a life.
Save a life. I know some person who come every performance when I sing, and I know some persons who for her, for example, to watch and to come to the theater, this is very important. This is like how they say, breath,
Mm-hmm.
like that. And in my experience, save life.
Well, I think that sometimes people live until they get the things that they need. And if a person thinks that listening to you or any other outstanding performer or any outstanding work of art is necessary for them, they live as long as they get this. So sometimes we save lives when we are not even aware that we are doing this. And I'm grateful to you for sharing these impressions with us. Speaking of impressions, you are famous, and this means that you meet a lot of famous people. You are a person of culture, and this means that you meet a lot of people who work in culture, who create culture. Among those people, who has impressed you most?
You mean some
Any artist or any other person that you got the biggest impression?
I think this is Placido Domingo for me. It's this person. I very respect him, and I did 3 or 4 productions with Placido in Europe and in USA, in LA, and in Metropolitan Opera. Also, when Placido was baritone, not like tenor. This is actually, this is personal. In musical world, for me, this is number 1. And this is very he is this is, of course, it's a legendary person, and very special for me, because Placido have a very special aura around him. When we are on the rehearsal, for example, everybody is happy to be here, to be very close with Placido. This is very special energy. Placido's energy. Actually, very positive person. It's very important to have a person like Placido in on the rehearsal or on the stage. This gives me more energy. Yes, when I stay very close with Placido, with person like Placido.
As most Ukrainians now, you probably need more energy than ever before. How have your life changed since February last year?
Totally changed my life. I was in Warsaw and I couldn't go to Kiev because I had my ticket for 27 February. And 26 I have my last performance in Napoli, in Italy, in an opera theater, San Carlo. I did Aida there. So it was terrible emotions for me because my daughter moved by train, like many people. This 3 or many days after this, on the first terrible day, and I remember these emotions. It was awful. When I was in Warsaw, I flew to many places when I was my contract. It was very unusual for me actually, because every time I'm in home after my contracts. And we had many concerts for supporting Ukraine, support Ukraine, everywhere in France and Baltic countries, and Germany, in Italy, in Europe. Yes, it was. In these concerts, we are performed anthem of Ukraine. Yes, and the audience was very excited. Yes, and everywhere people supported our country.
Lyudmila Monastyrska, thank you very much. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for your amazing singing, and especially for this fragment of the Ukrainian folk song that you dared to perform now. Maybe one last unplanned question, not about some far future, but what's next on your agenda after we finish this recording?
Actually, here I have a performance Floria Tosca. It's 5 of February in the National Opera of Ukraine, and then I go to New York for Tosca for my contract. Thank you very much.
Thank you.